Hello, naughty ones. It's me, Wendy Steen Shaner here with Naughty Fairies. I am so excited. We've got our Naughty Fairy Con happening. Let me know if you can hear or see me. Just post something in the chat so that I can see, make sure everything's working well. I can't see who's here. So if you can say hi, that would be great. I hope everybody's doing well. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. I know some places are getting snow and some places are getting wind, and it's been pretty crazy. I see R. Jones. So hi. It's good to have you here with us. So yeah, I'm so excited. I have Alton Simpson with me today, and we're going to be talking about music. He did an amazing musical piece for Sireness, the world tour that's happening now on Kickstarter. The link's here. And so I'm going to bring him out so he can say hi.
Hello.
Hi, Alton. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. So I see you have your guitar. You want to do some playing?
Yeah, well, we'll check sound, like levels. Is that loud enough?
Can everybody hear? Let us know. Make sure you can hear it. You'll be waking up the neighbors.
Nobody close to my house. Actually, it's a good garage band place because I don't think it would annoy anybody.
It's cool.
Can you hear that? Loud enough?
I think you're good.
Okay. Hold on. Let me start the track.
Arjun says, you've got this.
I'm just going to play along with the track.
Okay. That was awesome.
Thank you.
We need the Alton Simpson world tour.
Yeah, I wish. My cousin actually is on a tour now with his band Algiers. But with COVID, it's been so crazy because he played Colbert the January before COVID broke out.
Oh, wow.
And I thought that was going to be like his big, I mean, that's the stage where Elvis and the Beatles played. That's the Ed Sullivan Theater in New York.
Yeah.
And then with COVID, it's been so crazy, But yeah, I'm ready to open for him anytime. So
Now, you've been playing for a long time because you've had multiple bands, right?
yeah, I picked up bass in when I was 12. My mom got me I told her I wanted to play bass. My first instrument was trumpet, and I was horrible. What's up, December? What's up, Steph? And I remember being in trumpet practice, and then the guitarist was in the next room, and I kept hearing all these great guitar licks, and I was like, "Well, that's cool. What am I doing?" You know what I mean? So then later, I told my mom, I said, "Well, the high school I was going to, LaSalle, will give me a class in bass, like that can make it part of my curriculum." So she went out and got me a bass, but she didn't want to spend any money because she's like, "You're going to buy it and it's going to sit there." So she went to the Sears Surplus and she got me like this super cheap bass. It couldn't have been more than like $20, $30. And I swear, she goes, "Well, if you play this, I'll get you a real bass." So I played it, and it was so hard on my fingers. And my fingers were actually starting to bleed. I was playing it so much.
Oh,
And
wow.
eventually, she went out and got me this really, really good bass guitar that even my bass teacher was like, he's like, "This is ridiculous. This bass has like extra pickups and all these switches and all this stuff." I said, "Yeah, I don't know. My mom got it for me." And
That's
that's when I had
super
my first
cool.
band in high school. And then once I got out of high school, I went away and my band kept playing here. And I really didn't play until a talent show up at University of Pittsburgh. And I was like, "Well, I play instruments, Everybody was there lip syncing and doing air band stuff. And I'm like, I actually can play. So then I got a band together for that. And I didn't play again till the 90s, till all that grunge stuff came in. And I had a friend who was always into like alternative music when it wasn't cool. I mean, we literally got yelled at for playing U2 in college because, it was the big 80s and it was hair band and stuff like that. And U2 hadn't broke yet. I guess it was like 84, 85. But yeah, he was into punk music. So he started like telling me he wanted to do this music because we saw Kurt Cobain and Dave Grohl and those guys. And literally, Dave Grohl just turned 53. So Dave Grohl's my generation. You wouldn't have thought it, but Um, so I started writing music with him, punk music, and we played some shows in upstate Pennsylvania, and we played the Trocadero in Philly
That's
before it
awesome.
closed. And then I was like, well, I should just start doing my own music. So I went in the studio in '96, and I always liked David. I love Bowie, but I always liked Prince and Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails because they play their own instruments.
Yeah.
And actually Brian Wilson can do it too. He used to go in and do all his vocals, like all those choir boy vocals. He could do each track, and I always marveled at that. I thought that was amazing.
It
So I
is.
went in and I got a 4-track, and I wrote my first songs in my house. And then I took those tracks to the studio and built on those tracks in the studio. And that was fun. And that was my first couple of songs and videos. And then I started releasing an album a year through the MySpace phase and all that. And I have about 150 songs released, and they're used for like commercials and things. And
That's
you
so
know,
cool. Yeah,
yeah,
it's amazing. And now, like we were talking before the show about how, just accessing music is so much different. Like we were the Napster days where you
yeah,
had to, pirate your stuff, and
oh
now
yeah,
it's streaming, and you type in anything, and within it's instant. You've got music at your fingertips.
yeah.
So
It's
it's a very different world in terms of music.
yeah, different experience. I know my roommate in college in the '80s. His big thing was he would buy a record just based on the cover sometimes. So that art aspect is gone now. But he would see like guys in trench coats on a cover, and he would say, "Oh, that might be cool," and he would just, because it wasn't that expensive to buy. and it was a whole different tactile, holding, staring, reading the lyrics, and all that experience
Yeah.
that we don't have today.
We
And that's the
don't.
thing with
And
comics.
even with the CDs, I mean, because we went from,
Right.
like, I remember when I was a kid, it was records. And
Yeah.
then my parents had an 8-track. So
Yep.
we went through the 8-track thing. And then the cassette tapes.
Right.
But then by the time I was like a teenager, it was like the end of cassette tapes. I remember
Right.
going into a store and they were like clearancing out blank tapes that you could record on. And I
Yeah.
remember buying as many as I could because I'm just like, I may want this for my car because I didn't have a CD player. I mean,
Right.
I had a 73 Mustang. I had an 8-track that we added to my car.
Cool.
So I had an 8-track player, and then we switched it to a cassette player. And I never put I no, I had a 73 Mustang.
Yeah.
I
73 Mustang is a beautiful car.
it was the Grande, so it was the last year that they made the muscle car, and that was
Yeah.
my car.
Yeah. They were great
So
cars.
I loved that car. We had it
Mhm.
up until Aura was born. So when my oldest was born, it finally fell apart, but it was it was a lot of fun. And then Steph wanted to add that MySpace was over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. The MySpace days were crazy too, because that was like, I got asked to play. A band asked me to open for them because they saw my song on MySpace. And I was like, okay, I'll do that, I guess. And I never thought of putting a band together. So I actually had to put one together to play. And they had a show at the Real World Philly House in Philadelphia. And it was just very bizarre how like Wild West MySpace was. It's
Yeah.
great for music, you know,
Yeah.
very easy to get
Yeah, the
songs.
MySpace. I mean, that's where kids, I mean, like that would have been a little bit younger than what my teenage time was.
Yeah.
So I know I was in my 20s when MySpace really blew up, but that's where all those people learned how to code. You had to
Yeah.
code to be able to do all that stuff. And
Yeah.
now it's done for you. And now they don't let you
Yeah.
modify because of the hacking. Kids
Yeah.
learned how to hack.
Yeah. It
We
was a
were,
fun time.
I mean, like I said, our generation was stealing music and their generation was hacking each other's websites.
Yeah. Everybody's
So
got to
it's
have some
just
fun.
interesting. Technology is awesome. But yeah, I mean, MySpace provided that, and now Facebook's providing it in a different format.
Yeah.
And then you've got other social media platforms that are making more accessible to access things from around the world. Because now, when you put music out, you're putting it on like Spotify, and now it's going global.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty quick too. I mean, I know I can get a song on Apple, Apple Music and Spotify within a week, which is kind of crazy,
That's so
you know.
cool. That's
Yeah,
so cool
but
because
it's
like the hustle of sending out those CDs to different record companies and all that's gone.
yeah. I did that at first, but then the internet started opening up, and I was like, well, I'm reaching more and more people anyway. You know what I mean? So to me, it was like about creativity, and then once I through CD Baby, once I got um, I forget what it's called, but they put me through where I could be in commercials and things. And then I think one of my songs got picked up by a marketing company in India, and they connected it to some video that went viral, and I got like 500,000 streams, like
Wow,
all at
that's
once. And I was
fantastic.
like, I was like, that's just crazy. I was like, because when you see your numbers jump, you're like, what the heck did I do? Is there any like way I did this myself? Usually not. But yeah, I got connected to some, and I looked and I saw India, whatever. I was like, wow, that's crazy. They're
That
really,
is. I mean, it's really cool. I mean, that just shows how connected we really are in the world. I mean,
mhm.
um, being able to have an influence or just touch the lives of people from all over the place, and it's amazing, and it's a wonderful time to be a creator, both for comics, for music, for
Yeah,
movies, for
yeah,
pretty much any artistic avenue. Because I mean, I follow a metal sculptor that's in England, and I
right.
get to see all of their stuff all the time. And then
Yeah,
there's a couple that are in Russia that I follow. that
Yeah.
do, different sculptures and things. So, it's just neat that it's like, oh, I get to see what's happening all over, and I can't leave my house. I'm here. But
Yeah.
Steph wanted to say that you sent it to Duran Duran.
I wish. It's funny though how your music taste changed over the years. Though I remember when Duran Duran came out. Of course, I liked "Hungry Like the Wolf" because of the video. And it was MTV.
Yeah.
But then, I was like, oh, they're, a poof band, or there's no guts to them. And then they came out with Notorious. And I learned that and then they split and they did Power Station and they did like funkier stuff. And I was like, these guys really take themselves, pretty serious, because Power Station was like part of Chic, which was a disco band, which is like, that they're real funk people. And I was like, well, it changed my attitude with Duran Duran. Hey, I'd be happy if I'd love to send them a song. I wish Simon would sing it.
That would be great.
It changes over time. But yeah, your thing with your whole campaign, the way you set it up as a rock experience, I think is beautiful, because they were like the most fun days. I know kids get into music now, but it's nothing like, seeing what am I wearing? AC/DC on there, for those about the rock tour, with two giant cannons on the side of the stage blowing up. You know what I mean? We salute you. I mean, there's a lot of like that pomp and circumstance experience that rock had that I know they're not getting today. Some people try and do it, like I guess Kanye and people like that are bigger. Jay-Z, Beyonce, of course, she's very theatrical.
Yeah.
But every band had their own little thing, and even with that show I'm watching, Peacemaker, that soundtrack, it's like all those bands, from the 80s, and those are really good songs. You know what I mean? I don't even remember some of them as singles, but they're great. So it was a lot of different types of talent, but then with the live show, you got a whole experience,
Yeah, I agree. And oh, thank you. I really. Oh, Terry says she still has her ACDC shirt.
Yeah, I haven't taken mine off yet.
Yeah,
It's
my
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 workout shirt
son,
at the gym too.
he was like probably third grade, and we got him a ACDC jacket. It was like
Yeah.
a, a hoodie. That kid, I bought it extra big for him. He
Hmm.
wore it for like 5 years until it finally fell apart. Like
Yeah.
we raised that kid right. He was raised on Metallica, ACDC,
There you
um,
go.
the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Just he listened to everything that my husband was listening to at the time, and
Yeah.
he knows music. And then you have my daughter, who listens to everything. she
Right.
she has no genre that she favors. She's got the hip hop, she has rap, she's got rock, metal,
Yeah. My kids are like
pop.
that.
Yeah, she listens
Yeah.
to everything. Yeah. Yeah, and I remember those things and the crossovers. I mean, one of my favorite crossovers with Aerosmith, when they did the
Yeah.
Run DMC.
Yeah. That was
Walk the
crazy.
Plank. That was one of my favorite videos that they would
Yeah.
show on MTV all the time, and I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. That was very smart of Aerosmith, because Run DMC had been using that song from when they started, because you always pick a song with a good break when you're doing parties, and it just had the perfect break for them to rap over. So that was kind of smart of Aerosmith to say, this would be perfect to meld these two together. I kind of
Absolutely,
miss that about MTV, because you got exposed to different types of music all the time. You
exactly.
know, you never knew what you were going to like. You just flipped on the channel. It's like, oh, it's Headbangers Ball. Oh, it's Yo MTV Raps. Oh, it's 120 minutes. I mean, those are three totally different genres that don't cross over anymore. Or you don't hear on one station,
Yeah.
but you heard it on MTV. It was fun.
Well, it's interesting because like I I loved MTV. We used to watch it all the time. I mean, Dire Straits, you would see that same video
Yeah.
over and over and over.
Yeah.
And you know, I forget. I think it was when my daughter started becoming a teenager. She would have MTV on. I'm like, that's not MTV. Like, I don't even know what
Yeah.
this is. All these game shows. When they started doing all the game shows and stuff, is when they lost me.
Yeah, they tried to make it a real station instead of what it was supposed to be. But that's a corporate decision. It's the business changed. I mean, originally, you would get those videos for free.
Yeah.
They were just laying around. Like Men at Work video was just like, out there. And it was
Yeah.
like, well, we'll put on these bands that nobody really knows because we're getting all these free videos. By the end of the 80s, it had turned into big business. The cost of the video, who's going to cover it, should the music company cover it? I mean, it wasn't just like shooting in your house. Like Video Killed the Radio Star. That was like one studio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Literally, they used tin foil and stuff for the video. So,
but those were fun, and
yeah, they were. Well, that's
them.
the inventive part of it. From my film background, and you're creative, too. When you have unlimited resources, people are always like, well, that movie's horrible. They spent, $200 million on it. When you have limited resources, sometimes you're more ingenious with what you're doing and you come up with something different and cool.
Yeah, you have to use the resources, be creative. I mean, if you look at Star Wars and you read any of the backstories on Star Wars and things that they would, like I think they said like Luke's pants that he wore in Star Wars were like jeans that they bleached out and texturized. Like, it's just crazy. Just like those are not anything special. Those were just jeans, and they like took out the pockets and did different things with it.
Yeah.
Downtown Judy.
That's good.
That was a good one. Yeah. And it is absolutely. Hello, beautiful Trish. If you've got your Kickstarter link, drop it in there. Because I'm gonna put Alton's Kickstarter coming up February 10th. February 10th. He's going to be dropping the Vampires of New Jersey #8. So that's super exciting. The music videos also gave it. Yeah, exactly. Because one of my favorite music videos when I was in high school was Metallica's One. And it's one of my favorite songs anyways. And I watched that video and it made me cry. Like you really understand what that is all about. So Trish, thank you for dropping your link.
Yeah, I stole the first note of that song I just played from One.
Yeah.
Because you said you liked it, so I started right on that note, and then I built the song around that.
Yeah,
so it's in there.
Perfect. It is perfect. And but
just
that video, I actually
calm down, Lars. It's just one note.
Oh yes, one note. That's all you need, and that's how it.
Oh, and the other thing that's weird with music is if I had copyrighted this or put it through CD Baby, you would have trouble playing it everywhere.
Yeah. Because
they would say, "Oh, the rights are owned by this person." I literally get messages about my own songs when I post them on Facebook and YouTube, saying you're breaking Al Simpson's breaking Al Simpson's copyright. So I purposely, I said, I'm just going to write this song, give it to Wendy. You do whatever you want with it. You have no problems. You can slap it up anywhere. It's totally original.
Yeah. And that's the best part. And I'm so thankful because it's so much fun.
Yeah. Thanks. You got me out of my
staff.
lack of playing.
Yes. That is so awesome. April is amazing.
Yes, she is.
We have 4 channels. You listen to music. Yep. Exactly. And what's really great is that I'm starting to see records come back into the stores. Like people are missing vinyl and the album art like we were talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Prince was a #1 vinyl album last year. I just saw.
Yeah.
I was like, what is that about?
Yeah.
I think it's probably Purple Rain. I don't know.
I don't know. And I've posted this a couple times. I got to see an unplugged that he did years ago where he's singing Cream into a really small little audience. Yeah. And he's just having such a great time with the audience and it's beautiful. And Prince, I swooned for that one. It was such a shame we lost him so early.
I didn't mean to cause you any sorrow. I didn't mean to cause you any pain. I forget the chorus. Holy. Yeah, it's right around there somewhere.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
I get serenaded in the morning.
Anytime, one.
He is a legend. It's all the Tiffany albums on vinyl.
Tiffany was good too. I mean, when I hear
I
like
had
Debbie
my
Gibson and
Tiffany
Tiffany,
albums.
the quality, I will say this, I think just in general, the quality and like maybe it's because we hear melodies and things. And today, when I hear a song, it's like just that one track, like that one slight rhythm and no variation. But the quality of songs, I know I was talking to somebody younger on Facebook, and it's like 1984, just for the year. If you look at the albums, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The singles that came out like every week, it was like Springsteen's album came out, Madonna's album came out, Prince's album came out, Thriller was still around. Like every week, it was like you wanted to run to the record store. There's just a certain quality at that level, you know.
I absolutely agree. I had Born in the USA. I had Like a
Yeah,
Virgin. I had all those albums. Those were my first albums because that was where I was as a kid. So those were the first ones that I bought, and that was yeah. Now Purple Rain's in your head. Exactly. That's how we make things happen.
yep.
What is it
But
called?
that indie mentality keeps us going. That's what I like about our crew of people.
Yeah.
You know, we understand like we're not like all starry eyed. We're like it's about the work, it's about doing quality stuff, and it's about making people happy.
And that's the best part.
Yep.
There you go. We need Prince surrounded by witches. Make it happen, Alton. Purple Rain homage. Oh, that would be awesome. Make it happen. Yeah, I was I was more of a metalhead when I was younger, but I think Prince was definitely one that I could listen to anything he put out. And I love the fact that he would play everything. He played the piano, he played the drums, he played the guitar. His
Yeah.
dad was a musician.
Yeah.
And so that's where, and I think he was jazz, if I remember correctly. He was a jazz musician. So Prince was able to pick up all of that stuff, and I love he said in that one video about Cream, he said, I wrote this while I was looking in the mirror.
Yeah. Yep. That's him.
And yeah, I mean, Thriller came out when I was in elementary school when Thriller came out.
Yeah.
And I remember
That was insane.
But that was what really changed the way music videos were done and were produced was because of Thriller, because it became a mini movie you got to watch, and it was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, well, I was in a band, and I was like Switzerland. I was the only one who could like appreciate every type of music, because I know the drummer, he was crazy about the Stones, and I think the Who, which was fine because my voice was kind of like Roger Daltrey's when I was singing, so I could pull that off. And then the guitarist was Van Halen, and then my other friend George, who ended up actually working for Nike, he runs their media division. He was the one that was in the U2 before U2 was like anything. Like I think like their first single was out.
Oh wow!
So when Thriller came out, Beat It came out, and the Van Halen guy, he was like, "Well, we have to do this song." Of course, you know everybody else was like, "We're not doing it. It's not really rock and roll." He's like, "Eddie Van Halen's on it." So we watched the video, we learned the song, we played a Catholic youth organization dance. So this is a high school dance. So you know we're doing good. You know nobody's like that excited about us. We're just playing. And the dentist is like, let's do Beat It. So I'm like, I'm the bass guy. So we go into this song. Girls start screaming and rush the stage. And we were like this was before Michael was Michael. You know what I mean? It was like just another Jackson album to us. We were like, eh. So they're rushing this. And we're like, people really like this. This is like different. And then at the end of it, we finish. We go back to backstage, and the priest there, he's signing a check to pay us. And he's like, boys, look, I love what you were doing. But could you just do an encore of that beat song, that Michael Jackson song? People really, they're just asking for it. Can you do that for us, boys? We were like, yeah, we can do that. So we went back out. It was our encore. So we knew something. Cool. Yeah, we knew something was happening, but it was like that nice mix of Eddie on top of that beat, and it was just a good time. It was fun.
So, Alton, music or comics if you could have only one in your life? Oh, that's
Well, that's
evil. That's an evil
impossible.
question.
Yeah, that's impossible. I mean, obviously, if I picked up a guitar or a bass at 12, that's my first love. But it all, to me, it all goes together. I always say that when I talk to you, Wendy. Like when you have a favorite movie, I bet you like the soundtrack too. You know what I mean?
You
So
liked
it's like,
everything about it.
yeah. And when I write a script, The Vampires in New Jersey, my mind is like, I'm watching this streaming series with cool music and cool actors, and you know what I mean? It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
So all of it feels connected to me. So I couldn't really choose of the two. I mean, of course, if they paid me, a ton of money to play music, I would play music. But
Yeah.
you know, comics has
Uh,
been such a revelation because I always loved comics, but I never thought I'd be doing comics. So it's a lot of fun for me.
it is. And it's nice because you have such a range between the comics and the movies and the music and the writing and I mean the directing. Like you've done the whole gambit.
I've
You are
been
like
lucky.
the guru of all of it.
Yeah, I've been lucky. You know, I just I just keep discovering interesting things. I mean, you taught me so much about comics and Kickstarter and just how to present yourself to the world, Wendy. So I love you for that. Thank you.
Aw, you're
I
welcome.
learn from you every time you do something, and you too, Steph, and you too, Carrie. You know, the
You
crew is
old
very
bird.
cool. I
Yeah,
learned from every.
yeah. And I'm you know what, and I love that about our comic family because we do share and we do support each other and we do promote each other and like Dustin has his campaign running, Mike and Trish
Mhm.
have their campaign running,
CB.
Tone has his campaign running, I
Yeah,
have mine, CB has his,
yeah,
Jim just finished. Who else? I know Primal's coming out. Like there are so many campaigns this month. It is insane crazy.
yeah.
So
Kickstarter
uh,
Armageddon, but the platform's big enough. Everybody's got fans.
yeah.
You know, very
Oh,
cool.
thank you, Terry. So sweet. The boombox. I miss
Electric
having a
Boogaloo.
boombox.
Yeah, Breaking Two, Electric Boogaloo with Shabadoo. I love that movie. We had so much fun in the '80s. It was crazy. That's why when
Absolutely.
I saw
Oh
that
man,
Peacemaker
no, you're not
opening.
ancient. Because Tom says I'm not old school. I'm just old.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
I'm starting to feel that way when I get up in the morning. My joints don't work the same.
Old as you feel. Try and feel good.
Exactly. Well, you are the the inspiration when you were doing all your push-ups and streaming those. I was just like,
Yeah,
I need
that
to
was
see this.
Henri.
And you're just like pushing, you're doing your push-ups, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh man, I can't even like get off the floor sometimes.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, Henri was doing it, and then I was like, "Well, I'll do it if he's doing it." And it was not easy. I forgot what push-ups were like. I don't
It
think
was
I've done any
awesome.
since, but it gets you in the rhythm of trying to get some. Anything you do, walking or anything, is good for you. So you know.
Yeah, we were talking about stuff. So we were saying, our thing was doing Napster and
Mhm.
pirating our music that way. And
Mhm.
but yeah, recording them off the radio, totally.
Yeah,
Mixtapes,
yeah,
reel to
yeah.
reel
I
recordings.
recorded. I remember because I was in a band. We couldn't always afford to go out and buy music to
Yeah.
learn. And I remember WMMR in Philadelphia stole. They used to steal stuff all the time, or have somebody give them a tape before the song came out. And they stole "Every Breath You Take" from the Police
Mm.
about 3 months before it came out. And when you're in a band in high school, you're always looking for a song you can play at proms because you're like, prom season. We need a slow song. We need this. We need that. So I heard it late at night. They played it because they didn't want to get busted, and I taped it. I took it to my band and I played it for them. And I said, I got a feeling about this "Every Breath You Take" song. And they listened to it and they're like, it doesn't even sound like the Police. Nobody's going to like this. This is horrible. I said, look, it's an easy song. Let's just learn it. So we learned it, and we used to tape ourselves. Take it to high. Hey, Courtney, you feeling all right? Feel better.
I know I wanted to ask.
Worried
I
about
didn't
it.
want to interrupt you. I
Yeah,
hope
worried
you're
about it.
doing okay, Courtney.
Yeah.
Poor
Um,
baby.
long story short, I took the song, our tape of the song, to school, and we used to play it because I went to an all boys school, so we had nothing to do except annoy each other and give each other wedgies. They listened to the song, and I'm at my locker. This was probably March before June when the song was #1 in the world. Some kid walks over in my locker. He's like, "Dude, I like that song you guys wrote." And I go, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "That Every Step You Take song. I love it. It's really good." And I was like, "This song's going to be a hit." And by June, it was everywhere. And I remember I saw The Police at JFK. Like
that's cool.
the week the album was #1 and the song was #1 in the world. So,
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I always had an ear to hear like certain things, you know. But yeah, I went to every band I could go to once I got in bands. I saw Judas Priest, I saw AC/DC, I saw Foreigner, I saw the Kinks. I mean, everybody I could go to.
Lucky. We've seen Metallica twice during Summer Sanitarium.
Nice.
So that was like in 98, 2000. Yeah. I think it was 99 and 2000, something like that. And okay, wait. So, yay! Well, we're thankful
you did, Courtney.
Too. Oh my gosh, I was so worried about you. So I'm glad you're doing okay. Are you home from the hospital? Yeah. Oh my goodness. So I'm just so I got to see Metallica, and I saw Korn, because they played with Korn, they played with System of a Down, they played with
nice.
We saw Linkin Park, we saw Kid Rock. Oh my gosh, Kid Rock's show was amazing.
Yeah, he's high energy.
It was great. Yes, they discharged me. The ER had nowhere, so I'm stuck in the hallway. Oh no, I'm so sorry. But I'm glad you're okay. That's a scary thing, sweetie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but I when you posted about the Whiskey a Go-Go, it cracked me up because I was like 7 months pregnant with my firstborn, with Aura. And cool. we went to the Whiskey a Go-Go. We were seeing my friend and his band play. And we had such a great time, but it was funny because I was very pregnant. You could tell I was pregnant. And I'd be walking, and the bouncers would like clear the way for me.
Yeah.
Or like move, and they would let me go through wherever I had to go. They were so sweet, and we had such a great time. We went there a couple times to the Whiskey a Go-Go because it's not far from where we are. It's like a half-hour drive, and it was a really fun night out. And I don't even think I was 21 yet. No, I know I wasn't 21 yet.
Wow.
Yeah. But because I was pregnant and they knew I wasn't going to be drinking, they're like, "Oh, it's no big deal." I think Bill was 21 then, but I wasn't.
Yeah. Just a baby.
I was the baby with the baby, and now she's old. She's going to be turning. Well, she's 27 now, and I don't even know how I have a 27-year-old running around.
Yeah, it's hard to believe, Wendy. Trust me.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I was not. Aww. I'm so happy we get to, thank you guys for spending your time with us. And we know it's a Saturday morning and everybody has stuff going on, and we appreciate it. It is a little bit on pregnancy. Apparently, bouncers really want to make sure that nothing happens to you when you're pregnant. Hello, Rob. Welcome. We're glad you're here. We've been talking music, and Alton's been playing some stuff for us. I don't know if you have a request. Maybe throw it in there, and if Alton knows it, he'll play for you.
Not that good. That's one of the things you two used to say is the reason they write their own songs is because they couldn't cover a song well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're like, we tried being a cover band and we weren't good at it. So
writing your own, that way people cover you.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I can play a song again if you want, Wendy. It's up to you.
Yeah, you wanna play it again?
I can play it on the way out.
We have the crowd.
Yeah. Um, all right, let me switch back then. Guitar's more fun.
Because that's the fun part.
Oh. Or I could write a new song if you want.
We could do
Create a
that. Oh,
song.
well,
It's kind of
we
boring
have a
watching
request to
exhaustion.
play it again, please.
All right.
I don't know if he's making me a Luna song. He could.
Yeah.
I can have him make a Luna song. Would you guys like a Luna song?
Good call.
It would be bubbly and cute.
Yeah.
We need some like pop. I think Luna would need pop. Yeah, I think Alton's gonna have to get him doing the whole thing, write the music and the lyrics.
Not at all. I wasn't playing guitar. I was the bass player. Why the hell do you have a girlfriend?
That is so awesome. I love that.
All for you.
And
Glad
you're
you could
such
use.
the showman because I would be standing, I wouldn't be able to move around.
Yeah,
That's too
it's
many
taking
things at
time.
once.
Usually, when I would play places, they were so small you couldn't move around much anyway. You know, so it's kind of freeing playing, in your house where you can do things.
And it's nice because it does feel like we're all like together in the same room kind of thing.
Hanging out, yeah,
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 it's
it's cool.
it's it's nice. I love, I mean, I've talked about how, as awful as COVID was, it really did bring so many people together in such a unique way. And now
Yeah.
this has become our life,
Hmm.
doing this and hanging out, and it's kept people connected, and it's brought people together. So it's awesome.
Hmm.
And it
It's
makes
fun.
me happy. So I'm happy that we all get to hang out. And then I want to switch our banners. So yeah, we have, let's see, wait. How did that
This-
happen?
I just
Like
hang out with a couple.
I shared it out. I
It's
did.
cracking me up.
Um,
Cracking me
what
up.
is one of, like, when it? Oh wait. Okay, they're they're ripping on each other now. Um, we have, gosh, when we talked about the song, you were so sweet. You're like, yeah, I'll put it together, and you sent me the riff thing, and we made like a little bit of an adjustment, and then
Yeah.
laid in the lead guitar stuff and the solos. And there was one
Yeah.
point my son was listening to it, and he goes, "Oh my god, that's amazing! Can you send that to me?" Because he was sharing it with all of his friends. He was so
Oh, that's
excited.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it was
Well,
really cool.
that's a compliment. Thanks.
Yeah, so he and all of his friends are, the 20 somethings. They're all early 20s. So Steph wants to hear Wham.
I wish. I saw George Michael. I went with a friend of mine. It was the most fun concert I've ever been to. It was
Really?
crazy. It was like a big club. You know,
Yeah.
wake me up before you go. I mean, it was wild. It was fun.
Yeah.
Great
Oh, I
music though.
remember the days of Wham.
Yeah,
Gosh.
I've been lucky to hear. I guess Michael Jackson and Prince, George Michael. We had some great voices in the '80s.
Yeah.
You know, but
Absolutely. Yeah, it was. I started losing my hearing when I was in my senior year. So in
mm,
92, 91, 92 is when it started going. So I got to hear the Black Album from Metallica. I got to
right.
hear Nirvana's Nevermind. Um, Van Halen had theirs come out that same time. There was like those three were like the three big ones that I
Hmm.
remember that I was listening to. So I was thankful I got to hear those before it became distorted and not as awesome in my
Yeah,
ears.
yeah. My ears, Spandau Ballet. True. Yeah. Wow,
Yeah.
Rob, you have a very interesting palate. Andrew Risley beat him out. I'd like to see that fight.
Um, but
Lots of moves in that fight.
yeah, I mean, and I feel bad because I don't know a lot of the more current stuff. And
Nah.
Bill listens to, like, he puts on like YouTube
Yeah.
music or something.
Yeah.
And he's found some really cool bands. He was talking about this one called In This Moment,
Hmm.
and it's
Okay.
like it's a female singer, and it's a metally type of hard rock thing, and he just
Nice.
loves them.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he still listens to a lot of the hard stuff, but then he says he listens to country and everything. I don't think
Hmm.
he has anything set anymore.
Yeah.
Or with
Yeah. I've written
me.
some country songs. I write a little bit of everything. Depends what hits me.
Yeah, and I think that, like, as we were talking and all of us were kind of sharing different things about music, music is such a trigger for memories, because you remember where you were when you
Yeah.
heard this song, or you remember you have an album. Like, just talking about the albums, I remember going, we were at the grocery store and they were selling the Madonna album, and I remember I picked up the cassette and I ran to my dad because I was like 11 or 12, and I'm like, Dad, I want to buy this. And he looks at it, and it says, like
Yeah.
a virgin. He's just like looking at me,
Yeah.
and he looks
Yeah.
at the thing, and Like I didn't know anything. I didn't had no
Yeah,
clue.
right. You just like it's new.
I
It's
was just
just a
like,
new
oh,
song.
that's the name of the album. And so my
Yeah,
dad bought it for me. And I
yeah,
remember listening to it. And my dad's just like, because like I got it home, put it in my little cassette player thing, and my dad was like talking to my mom. He's like, she wanted it, and I bought it. I don't know. Like, my mom was like, okay, well, we'll keep an eye on it. And I'm like, it was just funny.
yeah. First time I saw Madonna was that I guess it's the I forget which video it is, but she was like dancing, but then she was kind of rolling around on the floor. And I remember I was at Sears and my mom was buying something at the counter. And I was a kid, I'm looking, I wasn't a kid, but I was probably late high schooler, but I'm looking at it was a bunch of monitors. I'm looking at these monitors. I'm like, does anybody see this woman? She's just rolling all over the floor. This is like the craziest thing I've ever seen. But yeah, she's an icon, you
Yeah.
know,
Oh,
she's
that's
an icon.
funny. But it does it triggers those memories and it brings you to a happy place or even a sad place or
Yeah.
music is really a big part of people's life. Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, George. What a genius. Good grief. That album's amazing. I feel bad when people have like one big hit album and then they never really come back.
Yeah.
It's like, what were the elements that made that the way it was? But
Yeah.
you can't recreate some things. I mean, I think he was dating the guitarist or the drummer. So it had that like Fleetwood Mac dynamic going on in the
Yeah.
band at the time of the album. And that makes an album like, there's a certain dynamic with bands when they do certain things. And it's hard to recreate that.
Yeah, it is. And I think that that's what ends up happening to a lot of bands and musicians is they can't achieve whatever that magic potion was,
Yeah.
they can't recreate it.
No. Yeah, bands is very hard because it's a lot of personalities. I always had trouble keeping the band together. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. It's got to move on. That's why when I saw that Beatles thing, I said these guys were playing for like 10 years. They grew up and they wanted to have wives and kids. I mean, they got to get out of the studio. And I always thought it was crazy that the record company forced them to record at that Abbey Road location. Like a part of their contract, most of the time they were Beatles was they had to go into that room. And they're thinking, we could be recording in LA, we could be recording in the Bahamas, you know what I mean? And they wanted to get out of that room. So
Yeah.
they did.
Yeah, that's
That's just the
interesting.
way
I
it is.
don't I don't know.
Yeah, no doubt. It's another one. Gwen.
Yeah. It's just crazy. Um but yeah, music does play a big part in everyone's life. Like when I was losing my hearing, I had a hard time with that because I'm like, I'm not going to hear my favorite stuff anymore. But I still get earworms. Like I had
Yeah,
Paradise City stuck in my head for
yeah,
forever, and then it finally went away. Like I don't know what made it go away, but it finally did. Because usually you play the song and then it goes away. Yeah,
yeah.
I could not get it out because I had nothing to replace it with. Nothing was
Right.
working that well.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. I won't tell them. Nobody will know. I won't tell them, I promise. And Carrie sitting in the background, like, mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Gwen. Yeah, it's another amazing band, no doubt.
Yeah,
Amazing song.
yeah.
Amazing song.
Does anybody have any questions for Alton before we get going? Because our time is almost up. Oh, you already told her, you big meanie. No, no questions. Okay, so be sure to check out the link for Vampires in New Jersey coming out on February 10th on Kickstarter. And if you haven't checked out the Naughty Fairies Sireness World Tour happening now live on Kickstarter, yeah, she doesn't care. That would be awesome. Currently, we have 9 days left. Tomorrow, we will have Kara Nicole on at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I think it's at noon our time. So that's like Central Mountain. I get them all confused. I know I will be on at 11 a.m. So that's our plan. So thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us. Alton, thank you for playing. It was so much fun. It's awesome to listen to music and to walk down memory lane from our youth. So everybody go out, have a wonderful
Your brain.
Saturday, and we will talk to you later.
Thanks, Wendy. See you, everybody.
All
Have
right,
fun. Be
guys,
nice. Stay healthy.
be good humans.